What's up, everybody? We're back with another video, and today I'm gonna do a full build breakdown on my LS E36. I've been driving it for the past year, really, except for the previous 2 weeks because I have the BRZ now. It's been my daily driver since the LS swap. Let me take that statement back. I've been driving it for the past 6 years, but since I've done the LS swap, I did about a year's worth of daily driving on it. And now for the past 2 weeks, it's been kind of sitting because I have the BRZ and that's been taking over daily driver duties. I still drive it, just not as much as I used to. So figured now would just be a good time to do a full, build breakdown. And I guess I'll just start with the outside now that we already here. All right, starting at the front, I do have the aero catch hood pins, hood latches. Then I have the glass Euro headlights. I don't have the halo rings. I used to have the halo rings, then got into a front fender bender, and I don't have them anymore. And as you can see from this gap right here, I don't have an OEM nose panel or hood, which I do plan to get, which is the cause of this gap right here. And the I did the updated nose panel with the facelift kidney grills and the smoke mirror lights, and also a M replica front bumper. Moving over to the wheel and tire package, I'm running the Apex ARC8s in a 17 by 9.5. You can see there too, I'm running a Willwood big brake package. I have the 6 pistons up front and the 4 pistons out back. Coming to the back, you see the 4 pistons, and on all 4 corners I'm running the Accelera 651 Sports in a 245 40s. Suspension wise, I am running BC Racing coilovers, Turner Motorsport rear lower control arms, polyurethane bushings all around front control arm bushings, rear trailing arm bushings, rear subframe bushings. I did the subframe reinforcement and the rear trailing arms reinforcements. It also has brand new tie rods and ball joints in the front, but like I said, it is OEM control arms just with the polyurethane replacements. I am looking at possibly replacing those to aluminum replacements, so I'm on the market for some of those. Yeah, so suspension wise, really the only thing left that I do plan to do really is, like I said, the control arms. Looking for aluminum replacements for those, and then doing a sway bar upgrade. I've been looking at a few different brands. They run different sizes. I'm not really sure which ones I want to go with yet, so I've been doing some research and some reading, and I guess really I just have to jump on one and just kind of fine-tune it and dial it in the way that I would like. And coming around to the back, really nothing special, just the CX Racing exhaust and the smoked clear tail lights. All right, and then coming into the interior, personally, this is my favorite part of the car, which I think should be everybody's favorite part of their build, because this is where you spend the most time, where you're always sitting, what you're always seeing. Everybody else sees the outside of it, but it's rare that you get to see the outside of it, rolling and in motion. So I have the Sparco, I think it's the R330 wheel or P330, I forgot the name of it, but it's the 330 millimeter steering wheel, slightly dished, and it's wrapped in the suede. And for me, I did get the steering wheel spacer to go along with the adapter. It's just more comfortable for me. I sit far back because I'm slightly taller, and then I have long legs, but I like to have the steering wheel closer to me, so to offset that, I did get the steering wheel spacer. I have the Corbo RRB seats. I love these because these are a full bucket seat, as you can see, full bucket, but it's still reclinable, so you get the best of both worlds. I have those along with the Corbo 4-point harness, Kobe wheel, e-brake boot, along with the shift boot, and I have the Condor Speed Shop weighted shifter. This is the shorty, not the tall one, and I'm running it. I did drill out the inside of it and opened it up a little bit to adapt it to the Hawks Motorsports shifter because I have a T56. And also another thing that I did was rewrap the headliner in Alcantara suede, and then that's my mount for my GoPro. So the back pillars, I did rewrap those, resprayed those. I resprayed the back pillars, but I was looking for the black replacement C-pillar lights, and I can't find them, so I think I'm gonna just bite the bullet and run the tan lights in the black pillar, because I don't want to take the chance of painting it and then I end up overspraying it. All right, coming into the engine bay, this is a 5.3 liter. It is the aluminum block. I believe the code is an LM4 Yeah, so it's a 5.3 aluminum block with a T56 combo, full CX Racing swap kit. I have the CX Racing headers, CX Racing headers, engine mounts, transmission mount, and the full CX Racing exhaust, the Y pipe to the mid pipe, I guess you'd call it mid pipe, and then to the muffler out the back. I did get a little carbon fiber intake. This is off Amazon if anybody's wondering, with a K&N filter. It's about time to get that cleaned up. And fast 92mm intake and throttle body with the fuel rails to match. I finally got the fuel rails to stop giving me issues. I bought new fuel rails from them, adjusted them a little bit, and then mounted them, and it's been good ever since. Going more in detail with the fuel system, I'm running a dual Aeromotive 340s on both sides of the tank. Those run down into a Y, into a single feed in a -8 AN. That's a feed up to the fuel filter, and then coming up to the rails, through the rails, and then back to an Aeromotive fuel pressure regulator to a -6 return line, and that's my return line going back to the tank. For the E36, for the fitment, you know, for the clearance that you have, it would be recommended to run the F-body accessory drive. You might be able to fit the Corvette accessory drive, but the F-body is real, you know, shallow to the engine, so it sits real close, and you can fit everything and still have a full-size E36 radiator. And as you can see, I'm running a dual electrical fan setup. And then coming over here, I have my Mishimoto catch can, and below there you can't really see, but I am running a Sandin SD7 mini AC compressor. This is like the go-to AC compressor for LS swaps because the size of it, you can kind of fit it even into vehicles that have real tight frame rails. You can get that AC compressor to fit. And I actually recently installed the Siki prototype AC lines. I went onto Siki's website and I saw that they sold LS AC lines for, it was the E30, the BRZ, the 240, and I think it was one more car that they sold it for. So I reached out to them and asked them if they were planning on making, or if they did make any AC lines for LS E36, and they said that they actually did have a prototype set, and they did have one that they tested on their shop car, but they wanted to send another set out basically to the public to test. So I did buy those from them, and I tested them out, and everything works great. I ran it is the Siki low pressure line. The entire low pressure line is from Siki, and then the high pressure line from the compressor to the condenser is from Siki. Then you use the factory BMW lines from the condenser to the dryer, and then you use the factory high pressure line coming from the dryer out and then coming up to the firewall. So it makes it real nice, real neat. Everything is clean. I did already email them back the pictures and recommendations that I made on the kit, but that kit should be coming out soon, so it is a solution for anybody that has a LS swapped E36 and they want to run AC. It's a game changer, it is. And cooling system, I am running a full Mishimoto aluminum radiator, and I'm running the dual 13-inch spout fans, and I like these fans, the fans with the shroud, because this shroud actually has the flaps that open up. So after you hit a certain speed, the flaps will open up to increase the airflow coming through. So that, I've never had any cooling issues with it, no matter how hot it is. Like even today, it's in the 90s right now. I've never had an issue with it. It's always stayed cool. And then even on the highway, sometimes if it's relatively cool outside and I'm getting a lot of airflow, you'll see the temperature gauge kind of start to come down a little bit. So the cooling system is extremely efficient on this. And I'm running the Euro expansion tank. And I am also running a full wiring specialties wiring harness. This harness was a pleasure to work with. Everything was to the proper length. Everything was labeled like this right here. Engine coolant temp sensor, and they also did a sub harness for the AC system, which was nice. So if you're not running AC, you could just disconnect the sub harness, and then that plug would just be by itself. And if you are, you just connect your harness and route it the way that you would like. And I reused the OEM clips to run the harness down and then through here to the compressor and the sensor. In the interior coming, what I would like to do is update this. I don't really necessarily want a double din. I'd like something period correct, so I did find a single din Bluetooth head unit with the orange ambient lighting, so it matches the rest of the cluster and all the other lights. I would like to do that and do the BAV sound, BAV sound, however you say it, speaker upgrade for all four corners. update the door panels to the hard motorsport lightweight door panels with the Porsche style door pulls, and then delete my OBC because ever since the swap, this doesn't work anymore. The consumption says I'm getting 99 miles per gallon. I wish I was getting 99 miles per gallon. And the speed doesn't work, temperature doesn't work, none of this works anymore. So I'm going to delete this and get a 3-gauge pod right here and replace this with a dual wideband engine coolant temp and pressure, and then coolant temp and battery voltage. All those gauges are from Innovate, so it's a dual sensor in 1 gauge. So I do like that. I like that because you're basically running 6 gauges in the space of 3, so you can monitor a lot more, but you're not, cluttering the inside of your car with a bunch of gauges, looking like you're in the early 2000s. I'm not a fan of that. I would like to run a digital cluster. I did see Autometer came out with a digital cluster. I'm just gonna look in to see if that is compatible with the GM411 computer, because that's what I'm running, and that doesn't have a CAN bus signal because that is an older ECU. So if that doesn't work, then I will be running those gauges. If it does work, I probably will be running the digital cluster, and then I might be running a double DIN. So it all depends on how that works. And I do have to go to the store real quick, so I will take you along for a ride with me. But first, I'm gonna give you a quick startup. So good to be driving this and having the AC blowing, because it's hot. full build breakdown on the E36. It's not done yet. You know, there's still a lot to do, especially body work and paint, some more interior stuff. So it's still a work in progress, but so far that is the build breakdown. If anybody has any questions or anything they want to know about the car or about the build, the swap, anything that they might want to know for their own build, you know, just drop them in the comments below or DM me on Instagram at Dante_LSX, and I'll let you know anything that I know. I won't hold any information. So thank y'all for watching. Thanks for subscribing, and I'll see y'all next time.